What are we gonna find today? Let's go find some treasures. Here we are, folks. Video number 2 in the series of the gigantic tool, vintage tool lot. This is what I still have yet to go through. Let me show you what I've already sorted out. Okay, so over here, it's a lot, folks. It's a lot. I got a bunch of different sockets and chisel sets over here. Got some vintage punches. Got some kind of rubber plastic gripped newer screwdrivers. Some different sizes of adjustable wrenches here. We got some different types of adjustable pliers. We've got other types of pliers. We got some snips. We got a variety of other nut drivers. We've got hammers, a bunch of wrenches in different sections here. Some more of these socket sets here. A couple of smaller pipe wrenches. We got a handful of C-clamps. And then we got oodles of these vintage Stanley, Craftsman, and other branded screwdrivers. Some really tiny ones here. Here's some, you can put different bits in. Here's some old German screwdrivers with the wood handles. Really nice. We got a bunch of different types of scissors here. And this, we get into the kind of stuff I really like. Some kind of strange and different types of pliers here. Some others, pliers that have a little ability to snip things like metal cables and stuff like that. More of these here. I mean, and these are different snips. And then needle nose pliers, some more tin snips here. Needle nose pliers. We've got a few small hand planes here. We got this sort of kind of like a hatchet type thing, metal but with a wood handle here. All of this, folks, has come out. I've started to organize, but I've not even gone through any of this, and this is what we're going to start to get into today. If I shift courses a bit, we've got a bunch of chisels here, some Buck Brothers. Here's one that's never been used. It's brand spanking new. It's a newer one here, a 1/2 inch. But then we got some older ones with that stag logo there, Buck Brothers. And then a variety of wooden handled tools, screwdrivers, picks, and various things. Here's a very large wood handled chisel, again the Buck Brothers brand here, but that is, I mean, this handle itself is probably 6 to 8 inches long, and then this thing here is probably a 6-inch long blade area. So I'd say this is probably a 14-inch piece right there. That'll bring a decent amount of money. But let's start to get into some of this here. So I think that the best way to approach this is to take out 2 or 3 items here out of one container and start to make little groupings of the same item. For example, as you can see here, I've got a handful of various sizes of adjustable wrenches here. And this one right here, even though it's kind of in a bad condition, at least rusty here, this is a Craftsman brand. This one right here, as you can see, it says forged, it says Koak Kitagawa. I think this is like a Japanese tool company, okay? This one here is Williams. This one here is, you can see that, Kristolov. This is the Crescent company. And you've heard of a Crescent wrench. Well, Crescent, that's a brand name, okay? And so, and here's Proto. And a variety of different sizes, and that would be a good little lot right there. But we're going to go in, I chose that because you see this gigantic one right here on the top. This is the Wayne brand in Defiance, Ohio. This is American made, and this thing's gigantic, folks. I mean, you can see that in my hand. This is probably a 16 to 18, 16 inch right there. 16 inch long. It's heavy. I mean, this thing probably weighs around 3.5, 4 pounds. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start going through and picking out things that would go in a particular lot. When we come over here, where is that pesky thing? Here it is. I got a couple of these little pipe wrenches, so that'll be another thing. Throw those over here because, as you can see, oh man, that thing's heavy. A gigantic pipe wrench here. Heavy duty. It's the Rigid brand. So this has got that kind of that reddish paint job on here. I see another one right here. That is Ridge Tool Company in Elyria, Ohio, Rigid. Okay, so this over here too, it's even longer. So this one here, folks, is a 24-incher. 24-inch here, and this one also says 24-inch. So I guess they're the same, roughly the same size. But I'm telling you, one of these is about 8 to 10 pounds. So to ship that sucker, it's going to cost quite a bit. So I'm not quite sure. I'm going to have to look this up and see, because does it make sense to ship that, right? Would it make more sense to try to sell it locally on a place like Facebook Marketplace? This is the Schick company, and this is more like an aluminum. This thing weighs less than half as much as this Rigid one does. But anyhow, I'm going to take a look out and see like what makes the most sense. What are they selling for locally? Here's another little pipe wrench. Oh, two more right here that you can see. Big old pipe. I mean, look at how many pipe wrenches I'm just pulling out right here off of the top. I'm just taking a cursory glance here to see if there's any others. Yeah, here's a small one right here. Various sizes. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pipe wrenches just from the get-go that I can see just sort of sitting up on top here. And let's again just kind of do a little bit of a glance, a little look-see here to see if there's any easy ones that I can pull off the top here. I'm not seeing any, but that's fine, because what I can do is I can start another little grouping, right? So, what would be the smart thing to do next? Probably maybe hammer. So I could take a little ball peen hammer here, right there. I can pull this one out, and so this is the first bit of it, folks. Is it's taken various lac components, like tools, similar in some ways, not perfect, but I want to get them in groups just to see what I've got here. I need to look up, once I get them, I need to look up the brand names. I'm going to always measure the size. Whew, look at that. That thing has really seen some action, let me tell you. I look up the brand names and figure out, like, is the particular brand of a particular thing worth selling individually on its own? Would it make the most sense to sell it in a group? Or, is it selling at all? Are people buying it? That will give me a good idea on how to list it. So let me get a few of these small lots together, and I'm going to show you what we end up with. All right, I've gone through 2 of these little tubs. Here's where we're at. We got crowbars, we got hitches. All of these are various types of mallets or hammers. This is my I don't know what to do with it yet bin. We'll get to that later. I got files, chisel type things. All these are pipe wrenches. Probably 100 pounds worth of metal there. Various types of old vintage measuring tapes here. Pretty cool. All kinds of wrenches and stuff, hacksaws, adding to my collection here of wood-handled tools. And then just look at all of these. I mean, this is about the time when I start thinking, Rusty, what in the world did you get yourself into here? I got 4 more tubs. Believe it or not, just down to 1 tub. Let's go through here and see what we might find. I need to get myself some paper towels and stuff. There's a lot of kind of machine oil and different griminess in there, rust and various stuff. Let's take a look. Kind of down here's what you're seeing kind of put together all day. A lot of stuff. We're going to get into these kind of more individually here in a moment, but let's jump into this little tub here and see what we find. All right, friends, we're going to get into it here. I got junk all over the place, but this is the remaining bin. It's very full. I'm going to get my hands real dirty here as well. But let's get into it here and see the kind of stuff that is coming in. This is a very large turnbuckle type thing. It's huge. And I don't know what kind of resale value this has, but I'm just going to kind of put it off to the side here. This is some sort of tool. It says Sugino, S-U-G-I-N-O, chain steel, and this is Japan. This is for some particular type of fitting, and this you know would hook in, and it would tighten it or it would loosen it. This is probably the part that would loosen it, and this is the part that would tighten it. I've seen things that look like this that are smaller on draft systems for beverage companies. It's a fitting that holds the spigot on there. That will definitely have some resale value. Here we have an old oil can, and it says 505 on it with a little sticker. Not sure, but I'm sure that'll have some kind of resale value. I'm going to put some of the resale stuff up here. Some kind of an interesting, I have no idea what this is. But good news is it has some information. It says Imperial, Chicago, USA, patent number, and it has a patent number on it, 364FH. It's got a bunch of numbers, old numbers, and marks here. It's a very specialized tool for something. I don't know what, but we'll have to research that and find out. That's part of it. Half of the fun of this is learning about this stuff. Here's an old squeegee thing. It says it's the Ideal Company, W.J. Dennis Co. I don't think this has probably a whole lot of value. This rubber is still there. It might be usable. I'll keep it just so I can look it up. If it's not going to be super valuable, I'm going to pitch it. This looks to be some kind of weird suction type device. It's strange. Again, it has information here on it. It says Lanka, maybe? MFG, no, Lancaster, Pennsylvania is where it was made. Made in USA. And then it says patent 1918. It's a 1918, and it's rubber. Very strange. Never seen one of those before too, but because it's so old, I'll definitely look it up and see. Here's an old tire iron. I'm not seeing a manufacturer on here necessarily, but it's pretty old, so I imagine, and it still works. I mean, here is another one that you can use to put on nuts on a wheel, and kind of a pry bar on one side. Here's another big old turnbuckle. I'm going to put these together here. Never seen them that large. Definitely industrial. Here's some smaller ones. Now here's some kind of interesting, it says Japan. It was manufactured in Japan. Another kind of interesting, some sort of you grab something with this. I'm not exactly sure what. All kinds of stuff in here that Rusty doesn't know much about. This looks like some kind of a scraper. Maybe you would attach sandpaper or something like that on there. Some sort of a hand tool. More of this is kind of like a hand crank where you could take off or put on nuts again on looks like more of an automotive related tool. I don't see a name. Well, here, made in USA. That's all it says, made in USA. There are a lot of collectors that buy stuff that just say made in the USA on it. Well, look at this. This now is interesting. I don't know anything about that. Look at that tool. Got some really old tools in here. I'm not seeing a name of anyone on it, so it's going to be hard. This is probably one of those I'll use that Google lens to figure out what it is, but it's fascinating for sure. I got some big old drill bits, very large. This is the kind of stuff I found in the lot of tools that I bought last year, was a lot of these little drill bits and such. Now, something I've been finding a lot of, and I see there's a lot in here as well, are these old files. Some are very large, like this, as you can see. Others, you know, varying grits. Just grabbing ones that I see sort of off the top here. And I got a nice pile over here that I'm sticking them on, so I'll continue to do that. I'm also seeing lots of little old putty knives, it looks like. Scrapers, putty knives. and stuff like that. I'm gonna put these together in a little lot here because those all go. And then my files go in that section over there. All right, here's some kind of a, not sure what this is for. It looks like some sort of a ratcheting type of a tool. Patent pending. It's a rivet tool. It's a rivet tool, so it's a riveting type of a tool. Very dirty, needs some work. United Shoe Machinery Corporation. So rivets and shoes. I don't know what kind of shoeing that's talking about, but definitely an interesting piece. All right, look at this old type of tool. Boy, it's so corroded, folks. I can't hardly even see the name on it, but look at that. It had a very specialized use. It has certain sizes, various sizes. A tool that could use to put on or take off nuts of various sizes. It looks like all the way around. That's cool. It's like this is like the earliest form of a multi-tool. I can tell that there's some writing on there, but it's so corroded I would have to do some work on it to try to reveal what that is. But that's a very cool piece. I know that'll sell pretty easily. And then we've just got random pieces of metal sometimes in here, like this. Random piece of metal. It's heavy. I mean, it's just a big old heavy piece of metal. I have no idea what it's for. I'm going to have to set that off to the side, look it up later. Here's another tool, again, for putting on or taking off little nuts and bolts and such. This feels to me like a whetstone, which is something used to sharpen and polish blades on tools. So that'll be a piece there. Probably put that with some others. I came across a couple others in here, so a piece of rubber. So I'll stick that over here by itself. What do we have here? Wow, okay, so this looks to be a cutting tool of some kind. The NYE Tool Company in Chicago, Illinois, USA. It's got some heavy grease on this here. I'm going to have to get some paper towels. Take a moment to go do that. But that's a cool, it almost looks like a C-clamp with this right here that would, tighten or loosen this size. And if I loosen this down, folks, as you can see, it reveals, it opens up, wider and wider. It almost looks like maybe a pipe cutting tool. Something that you would put something in here, you clamp it in tight, and then you spin it around. And this blade right in here would cut whatever is in there. That is a cool tool right there. It looks quite old as well. That one will definitely sell. Look at this saw, hand saw, the Challenger number 44 from Danville, Virginia. It's a little loose in the handle, but I think it's still working. It's got serration on both sides. That is awesome. I'm going to put that over here with the other tools that I have that are, cutting tools, sawing tools. Electrocraft, an electrician's tool to cut the little rubber outside pieces off of to strip wire and things like that. What else do we have? Wow, look at this tool. It kind of feels, it's got some grit in here. Oh, I see something. Man, what is that? Oh, it's like a serial number. And I'm looking to see if I find a manufacturer's name. No dice. Well, hold on. Okay, something. Oh, and there's like a cow or like some sort of a horse. All right, what is that? Heller, maybe? Heller New Cut Made in USA. That's cool. I'm going to have to look that up. I don't even know what exactly that is. I found a ton of these tools where you would hammer on one side, like chisels and punches. You can see some of these here I'm pulling out. I'm going to start pulling some of these out. There's another file. Lots of these. Chisels, various punches, and things are intended to scrape and cut up stuff. These are the kinds of things if you were going to remove like old tile from a floor or something. But then these are punches. This is like a That's like does like an X or like a plus. I don't know if these are for pieces, like punching and cutting into pieces of metal, or if they're just for, you know, leather, or I don't know what. But then look at this. Look at that. That is gigantic, and it is so heavy. It's like a splitter, like a splitting maul here type thing. It's had heavy use, and that thing is, that's awesome. People will still use those. I mean, they're old, and they've been used heavily, but it's still a piece of metal that'll help split wood, so there you go. More of these. I'm just pulling more and more and more of these out. Dasco 334. Warning, wear safety goggles. I sure will. Here's another big old wide one. Just hammer down and chisel over and over again. More and more of these. Here's another thing. It's just, I don't know, it's just metal. Just metal to hammer on. Oh, look at this. It's an old compass. The LS Starrett Company. That's old right there. Someone's definitely going to buy that. Well, guys, let me go get these chisels in the right spot. Let me go wash my hands and get some paper towels, and then I'll get back to it. Well, folks, we're still getting into this here, and this is where we get down to the nitty-gritty in the bottom of this big tub, because it's all small items, and, you know, let me just give you an example here. So I've got another, I say small, here's another big splitting maul here. Quaker City, number 4, it says on it. Did this other one say something on the side? No, it did not. A couple big splitting mauls, and we got some other stuff here that I'm not familiar with. It says it's Chicago Imperial. It's cracked, so this appears to be damaged. But this is, you know, you clamp this on, and then I guess you drill a little hole on the top of it there. Really interesting piece. I don't know what it's called, but I got a rag here because all this stuff is covered in oil. Machine oils. Grab a few of these here. We got a bunch of like wooden handled picks, almost like ice picks. Wooden handled. I mean, these are the kind of thing that I'll throw in a lot together and sell. Oh, look at this. So we got another plane, hand plane. This particular one's all metal. It says Stanley on it. Stanley 1. Stanley number 1, I guess. Metal. It's got a nice blade in it that is looks to be quite sharp. If I push this in and push the blade in a little bit more, yeah, that is really nice quality right there. Wouldn't take a lot to refinish that either. So that's great. Anytime I can get my hand on planes, hand planes, I'll take it all day long because those things sell really well. Got some really cool looking old forge steel. I'm assuming this is steel. It may not be steel actually, but really old. Different types of wrenches and such. We've got pliers here. All of these ones that don't have any grips on them. That's just the metal. I love these. Diamalloy SL3056 maybe, made in USA. Diamond, Duluth. The Diamond Company maybe, Duluth. Great pair of little pliers. I mean, these are the kinds of things that I'll probably sell individually because there are buyers that like these old hand tools like that, and since they're very simple, there's not a lot of components, they can last and be used for a long time. Here's another type of a pick that's got like this little end on it and this red kind of wooden handle, very bizarre kind of. And then I'm still pulling out these old measuring tapes. Here's one called Tempo Super Lock, made in Taiwan. And it works. And then a 6-foot Stanley brand one. This is really sleek. A smaller one here where you can kind of see. I can pull these out here. Very small. That's cool. I mean, these are functional for me here at the warehouse as well. So if, you know, in the meantime, while if they're not selling fast, I can use them, of course. Another big old, here's a Stanley brand compass saw. It says in a blue handle, metal handle. That's a really nice saw right there. And then just oodles and oodles, guys, of these more picks, more nut drivers, and screwdrivers. Screwdrivers galore. I mean, tons of these things. And nut drivers. I'm going to put these out. I'm separating out the nut drivers from the screwdrivers. Of course, I'm going to try to make some sets. I'm going to throw these in the screwdriver pile and throw these in the nut driver pile. Goodness me. Okay, cool. Here's a little handsaw. Milford Midget, New Haven, Connecticut, made by. I can't quite see it because it's old and rusted here, but it's still got the blade on it. It's intact. It still seems to be sharp. I don't want to cut myself with a rusty blade. That's the last thing I want to do, so I'm gonna put that aside. But still, more of these chisels. Rotor Tool Company, and this one has seen some work. I mean, this thing is awesome. It's definitely had a lot of work done on it, but it has been resharpened, and this thing is sharp like a knife. No joke. That's a cool little piece right there. And then I'm still getting screwdrivers, some more of these C-clamps. This one was made in Taiwan, but still good condition. Still nice. What else do we have in here? There's a little wooden handled, looks like a little chisel. Wood handled chisel. I'm not seeing a brand on it. Still pretty sharp. That's nice. I got to be careful because I don't want to cut myself. That would be the worst thing to do in this situation. Another one of these, Chicago, whatever this is called, where you can screw. It's a wider little blade thing that you cut down into. All right. What is this, folks? Got this piece up here that sticks out. It looks like it's made of a blade of some kind. So I'm wondering if you put something down in the spot and then you click right there and you're going to cut a tiny little notch out of something. Very specialized, it looks like, type of a tool. I have no idea. That's one for Google Lens. I'm gonna have to look that up because I'm not familiar with it. All kinds of different types of crowbars. I mean, look at this thing. Looks like it has been bent over and on itself. Appreciation to a booster for Steckley's hybrids. Steckley's hybrids. Appreciation to a booster. Whatever. I have no idea what that's about. But that is an old crowbar right there. Put that in the old crowbars and move on. As I get to the bottom here, guys, the tools get smaller and smaller. But I am coming out with a variety of these really old double-sided wrenches. This one says Fiat. So I guess this is a lot of automotive tools. I don't see any other names. I see serial numbers. Fairmount, Cleveland. I'm just seeing like more like manufacturer names and fewer of an actual brand name. And then you guys might know what these are. They're very interesting looking. They got a tiny little blade wheel at the top. I don't know if this is for cutting glass, a glass cutter, or what this is. But this one's called the Red Devil, made in USA, 1063. I had another one in here I saw a moment ago. It was blue. It was like I think it was a different number. But I'm also, here's some little tiny needle nose pliers. Almost like needle nose pliers. Germany. Okay, so some German made ones. Those are nice. I like those. But I was going to say, I'm pulling out these interesting bottle openers. Here's one that says Reinhold or something like that. Extra dry American lager beer. This one right here says Tool Steel Tempered, and it says 39 cents on it. And it's like you could cut 10 cans and you could open up a corkscrew here. Definitely old tools. This thing says everything for welding. NCG, everything for welding. And it's got some sort of thing here. I don't know if this is I don't know what this substance is. So some sort of, almost like a stone of some kind. So clearly some tools for assisting in welding as well. I'm not familiar with. I don't do a whole lot of welding. But we've got other things in here, guys, like this. What is that tool? I mean, You got a screw at the top here. You got something that looks like a bit. This screws in as well. This is spirally like it's a drill bit. And then you got this like almost like a 4-leaf clover thing that goes all the way through it. No idea. That's going to be for Google as well to help me look that up. Bunches of these tools. Still got adjustable wrenches here. Proto brand. That's a good vintage brand. I got a very old pair of various pliers and other things. Still got picks. Trying not to poke myself or cut myself here. Some very small, I don't know what you call these things. It's a hook. It's got nuts and on it. Not really sure. Some sort of a, I have no idea. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is an old master lock, and they've got tape on it with the key right there. That's cool. I'll have to take out that key and make sure that it still works. It's one of the front ones that you open. Definitely older. Milwaukee. I'm not seeing a number on it. And what do we got here in the regular Sucret's throat lozenge box? Oh, so we got some more keys. Keys maybe to another lock of some kind. Made in USA. Yep, and then a little skeleton key, and I have no idea what any of those would be for. But it's cool to have them. I'm gonna put this master lock down in here too, keep it safe. That's cool. Getting locks, getting blades. Here's tiny little. Oh, look at that tiny pair of scissors. It's almost like for sewing or something. That's cool. I mean, this little thing right here could sell, sell by itself. So many tools in this lot, folks. So many tools. I got, here's a box knife, an old Stanley box knife. Number 10-099. Here's something that says Atlas. It's some sort of a clamp on something. Another C-clamp over here. My goodness. The sorting part, this has to be done first. You got to sort out so I know what similar types of tools. And then once I sort it, I'll be able to go through each different category of item and research its resale value, that sort of thing. I'm still pulling out all kinds of files here. Just hand files, these vintage things. Even if they're rusted, these things can sell. Well, here's an old level. Douglas number 609, torpedo level. Radiator Specialty Company in Charlotte, North Carolina. Huh, look at that. It's got a specific location on there. Unfortunately, the middle glass here has been broken, okay? So the sides still have the goop in them. That's going to hurt the value that it's not really usable, but somebody might still buy it because of the brand name. I got a wooden handle file, a bunch of these other little files. Oh my goodness. And it just goes on and on, folks. Another really cool, I was hoping that I'd find some, these are all so old that the brands I'm not familiar with. This one's Williams. I've heard of that before. Here's a really old Barcalo, Buffalo, adjustable, a wrench there, USA. Man, these old tools are so cool. More pliers. I mean, all of these metal tools. It's going to take me a while to get through all of this, but once I'm done, folks, I'll come through and show you where I have them all sorted. It's still going to look like a mess, but believe me, I've done 90% of the work as far as sorting. Now it's going to be time to clean and/or repair, research, then do the photographing and the listing. It's going to take, if I was doing this all by myself, it would take me weeks to put this together. But for $260, folks, what I've just shown you out of this one bucket today, I'll make more than $260 on. And I mean, I'm just sitting around here swimming in tools. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Wait for the next video, installment number 3, where I'm actually going to go section by section to tell you the types of tools I have, what to look for brand name wise, and generally what you can expect to get out of them. Until next time, folks, take care.
Rusty how to. Rusty, rusty, rusty how to. Rusty, rusty.